Hello there, and welcome to my table. I see that you, just like me, have sought shelter from the raging storm outside. Nature can be beautiful, but also very cruel. And they say that nights like this, when the storm is as hardest, bad omens are born. And the story I'm gonna tell you about today is one of those that was born under a night like this. Because on a stormy night like this was a child born in a world called Trudvang. And you might wonder, where is this place called Trudvang? And to that I will only say, it's nowhere and everywhere. It's far away, it's close by. If you seek it hard enough, you will find it. And to this story, this child was born without a name, none given by his parents. Because of this stormy night, he was born carrying the golden eyes of the wolf. And among Ostheim's people, it was seen as a sign of curse. Thus, they took the child, just newly born, carried out to the big dark forest where the trolls roamed. And not the small gentle trolls, no. They were of the evil kind, showing no mercy for humans. And this child, just a day old, was placed between rocks and moss, as the storm still raging, and they left it to die. But as you can assume, that is not how the story ends. And this little child survived, and were raised by nature itself, by the wolves, by the owls, by the bears and badgers, all the animals, taking care of this little child, that will take the form of not only man, but the wolf as well. And years pass as this little child were found by humans. A different tribe, a different village found this child, and there an old man took him in, because this old man had lost his own family, had nothing left. And he saw this child as an omen, but this child was wild, as it had grown up with the wolves, bears, badgers, and all other animals of the nature. And here he was now, for the first time, in a home that actually wanted him there. And by time, he would lose part of his wilderness, becoming more human, living in this village. Though they saw him as an bad omen there, obviously, because he still had the golden eyes of a beast. An omen seen all over the world as a sign of the curse from the ancient gods of old. But the old man, once a famous and great warrior, said that no one should touch this boy, because this was now his son. And this child he named Gado. And suddenly, this child, only loved by the beast of nature, suddenly had a family of humans as well. Even if only one, it was the one that matters the most. And he became more and more human as the years came. He learned, he worked, he got to know other children, others like him. Yet they were not really like him either, because very few had this curse that would make him both man and beast. It was a curse that spread fear among the people that knew about it. Yet this child tried to live a new life. Thanks to his father, he got a second chance at this life, and he took it. But fate is a cruel mistress, just like nature itself. Can it be beautiful? It can be giving and forgiving. But many times it is not. It is cruel and showing mankind that no matter what they do, how strong they get, how far they go, how much knowledge they gather, fate is something they never can control. And as this child grew up, just like many others, would he find love? Oh, but love is so fleeting, isn't it? You feel it for the first time. Feels like your heart is floating. But as it's floating, it's vulnerable. And the village that God grew up to call home would not last for long. Because fate had other things in store for him. There was a greedy Jarl living not far off. He did not own this land, but he sought it because it was rich, and he wanted it because this Jarl, Ironbark, knew no boundaries. And he one day sent his soldiers to this village, simply a demonstration of power, that either they align with his wishes or they will suffer dire consequences. And the villagers said no, because they already had a ruler. Why would they change just because he said so? Jarl Ironbark was not very pleased with that, obviously. And to be fair, he was not the brightest in the world, definitely not. So he did what he thought was the second best option. After getting his no, even the women he saw there that was of beauty that he wanted, if he can't get it, no one will. Meanwhile, Gado, now a 15-year-old boy, lived there simply. As a child, a young man, growing into this life. He have a few friends of Anders, Torvald, and of course the love of his life, Emma. Obviously her parents wouldn't accept that she would go and marry someone like Gado, a child born of the wild, cursed, and most likely would just continue spreading this curse. But Emma and Gado, they were young. They felt like parents' rules doesn't matter. They make their own rules. They love each other. And they were planning on running away, leaving this village behind, to start a new life, where no one would judge either of them. And as they were planning to do so, disaster struck. Jarl Ironbark's men, 50 men strong, entered the village. They started to kill, maim, rape, plunder, burning. Gado was paralyzed as he saw Emma dead on the ground with her parents. It was a gruesome scene that would forever be painted to his eyes, to his brain. The feeling of weakness, the feeling of not being able to do anything. He tried to fight them. They saw how he turned into a beast, how his fangs and claws ripped into human flesh, ripping them apart. But these soldiers were tough and strong, and he was still a young man, and he was beaten down, taken as a slave. Not only had Emma died, but his father had lost his life as well, trying to fight these men. In chains they dragged Gado and other survivors out of the village, leaving only ashes and death behind. And for the coming years, that would be his new life. struck in chains in a cellar. They struck him hard every day. Whips, sticks, scarred his body, marked him. They made sure that he would never forget who his master is. They thought they could control this beast. They would later learn that they only fueled his anger, his hatred, seething through his veins, seeking revenge for what they have done to him. For 5 long years did he live in this complete darkness of torture, of slavery. One by one did he see people around him die, and soon he was all alone. And they thought they could break him, but they couldn't, because he was now more beast than man. And one storming night he broke free from his chains and struck those that had been torturing him. With just his bare fists did he strike, killing men, even in armor, even if his hands were bruised, broken and bleeding. It didn't matter. That pain was nothing compared to what he had withstand all these years. These monsters would all die. And he went in there, killing everyone he saw. Either they were servants, or guards, or other people. It didn't matter. All of them had been living leisurely, dancing around as his suffering had just increased. How could these people understand what he had been suffering? He had found a home, and they ripped it away from him. They took those that he loved and killed them. What was left for him to live for except his anger, this seething hatred towards this man? And he could only laugh as he entered the mess hall and found the Jarl sitting there, soiling himself, crying, begging for mercy. As Gardo, with one hand, broken fingers still moving, grabbing his collar and lifting him up, and only said, "Where was that mercy 5 years ago?" and killed him by slamming his head into the wall repeatedly as he laughed, as the blood gore rained over his own body and onto the floor, on the carpet, and as people screamed and cried, guards came, an arrow struck his back. He didn't stop. Did he think an arrow could stop this? No, never. And by the night, he was gone, leaving a bloody burning castle behind him. There was nothing left there. He had taken his revenge, but it had left him empty, because now he had nothing left. Not his family, not his friends, not his father, not Emma, not even his hatred or revenge anymore. Because he could not hate those that wasn't alive any longer. So he set off for a journey to find some answers to why was he set to this earth. Why was he set to be born, to walk Trudvang like this? And that, my children, is the beginning, the story of the greatest warrior that ever walked over Trudvang's ground. So thank you for joining in. It's still storming outside, so stay a while and listen. Oh God! Oh, holy shit! This took me way too long. Oi. God. This turning quite intense. But yes, this is something that I wanted to do for a while now, making these story time videos, but instead of getting fucked by toothbrush or whatever they do these days,
I felt like doing one, but D&D based or role playing game based, so to speak. So I decided to do more of this if people are interested, of course, because I think it's really fun and I get to tell the stories about many of the characters and adventures I have played. So all these stories will be telling are adventures and characters that me and my friends created as well, we grew up and all that. We RP'd a lot, so it's not only D&D. These, for example, was from something called in Sweden Drakar och Demoner, dragons and demons, pretty much. And yeah, I thought like it's a good start. So if people are interested, I will do more of this, and of course try to improve. And it was such a nice weather right now because it is storming here right now, raining, windy. So I thought like, man, this is perfect. Like I'm just gonna sit here and pretend to be a storyteller, eh? But yeah, leave your comments below if you think it's interesting and if you want me to see me do more of this. Because if so, I'll gladly do that because it's pretty fun and yeah, I think this could be a really fun one because I get to tell all these stories, and you maybe get something interesting or inspiration of your own. So, yes, I will be back with more. So, thank you for watching. See you later on, and have a continued super great day.